you.
All right, all right.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us where you're coming from. My name is Gerald and I'm your moderator for this evening. We are so much thrilled to have you here, and let us know where you're joining us from, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Tell us where you're coming from. There's a comment section there. Type in the country where you're coming from, and we just want to see where everybody is from. This is a Southern African Region Growth Conference. We expect a lot of people from different places, different nations, and therefore you tell us where are you coming from. I see Tendai Madondo joining us from Zambia. You're welcome, Tendai. Emmanuel joining us from Nigeria. Nigeria is here. Thank you so much for joining us. Anybody else? Tell us, there's a comment section, want to see. All right, I see Mame Meriba from South Africa. South Africa is represented here. Thank you so much for joining us, Mame. So we have South Africa, we have Zambia, we do have Nigeria. Is there anybody coming in from East Africa? All right, so I see people still joining in. Right, I see East Africa coming on board. Susan from Uganda, you are welcome. Susan, you're welcome. Uganda is represented here. Thank you so much for joining us. Can we see more? Where are you coming from? Welcome to the Growth Conference, Southern Africa. Right, keep them coming. I see people joining in. Tell us, there's a comment section. Where are we getting us from? Right, so we have Uganda in the house. Anybody from Zim? We expect Zim. Anybody from Zim? Do we have Botswana in the house? Southern Africa. Do we have Namibia in the house? Anybody from Namibia coming through? Right, so we will be starting in the next few minutes. We're just waiting for a lot more people to just joining in. But in the next few minutes, we should be able to get started. All the speakers are here. The host is ready for us, and it's going to be an exciting time. Let's know in the meantime where you are getting us from. I can see already our host has joined. So we should be getting started anytime from now. Okay, thank you so much
Thank
for
you, Gerard.
coming. Thank you so much, Susan, for coming through. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce our host, a passionate advocate for women's empowerment, and she's one of the driving forces behind this host, the first of its kind in Southern Africa. And please join me in welcoming our host. And our host is no other than Susan Chivanga. So Susan Chivanga is a seasoned executive. She's a transformation leader. Through her interactions with young women, she inspires professional and personal growth. She further aims to establish strong networks. This is to propel transfer of knowledge, skills, value to the next generation leaders. As a CEO at Agora Microfinance, she empowers rural communities, drives strategic growth, and her influence also rose into other roles beyond just Agora, including Association of Microinsurance in Zambia, which is and as well as the Microfinance Technical Advisory Group, TAG. These further underscores our commitment to advancing financial services as well as good governance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome me. Please join me with the virtual applause as we welcome our host this evening, Susan Chivanga. Susan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gerard. I hope everybody can hear me. What an exciting day. We have been waiting for this day and it's finally here. Thank you so much, Gerard. Thank you, everybody. I can see we have 23 people right now. And I would like to just know where everybody's joining us from. We've got Nchimunya, we've got Linda, Augustine, Kawechama, Suma. Please, I apologize in advance if I am unable to pronounce your name correctly. Please forgive me. I probably did not use my AI today. And therefore, it is the topic we should be talking about. So I should learn how to pronounce the names correctly. Are you able to hear me? Gerard, can you hear me? Am I audible enough?
Yes,
Everybody,
Susan,
can
you
you hear me?
We can hear you. You're good.
Hello?
Yes, Susan, we can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Wonderful. I just needed some confirmation that somebody can hear me indeed. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. A warm welcome to our speakers as well. The participants, everybody. Winnie, Faith, I can see you. Raha, I can see you as well. Thank you so much, Madam Charity. Thank you, Ruth. I can see you. Juliet, Uche, thank you so much. And of course, Sandra, always helping us out. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. You are most welcome. Okay, we have about 25 people that are joining us. Alice, I hope we are all looking forward to tonight. An awesome 2 hours that we are going to have. Exciting speakers, exciting conversations, igniting our passions. And for some of us, giving us a lot of thought around what to do, what we should embrace. Yeah, today is the day that you should ask questions. Is it safe? How can I use it? How can I make sure that I'm protected by security? Everything should be speaking about it today and to maybe 1 more minute, 2 more minutes, and then just start off. Okay, so we have about 26 participants today. And I think we can start off our conversations. I'm very excited, having been in financial services and having seen how banking sector
Looks like we just lost Susan. Did we just lose Susan? All right, so I think Susan has just dropped off. It could be some network, but she'll be coming up. In the meantime, I still see more people coming through. Yeah, so I see Uganda is here, Alice from Uganda. We see you. We also have Rwanda in the house. Rwanda, we see you. Welcome. Nigeria, we still see more Nigeria. Wow, we also seeing Kenya. Welcome to the house, Kenya. Cameroon. Good stuff. We see Cameroon in the house. All right, Susan is back. Over to you, Susan.
Sure. Thank you so much, Jared. Thank you. Yeah, I think I would just go straight into introducing our host today, none other than Jared, whom we have already ended with. He has hosted with me, and that's Jared, our first moderator for today. Jared Kaliondo is an IT innovator driving digital transformation, the head of IT at Agora Microfinance Zambia. With expertise in AI, leads projects that enhance financial and operational efficiency. As the founder of Longiza, he empowers small lenders with cloud-based solutions to scale operations and address credit challenges. Jared's global exposure and leadership in tech have earned, including the African leader role of. A big congratulations to you, Jared. And indeed, you are a true African who is driving technology across Africa and indeed across the globe. Today, Jared will be our moderator for our sessions, and he will be introducing the speaker that we do have. Thank you so much, Jared. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Susan, for that introduction. You know, sometimes when you hear about yourself from somebody, you want to question yourself, is it really me? Is that what people think about me? Otherwise, thank you so much, Susan, for that introduction. One more time, I do welcome everybody to this growth conference. It's a first in Southern African region. And thank you so much even for people coming across outside the region. So happy to see Cameroon as far as west. So much happy to see Nigeria. So much to see Rwanda. So much to see Uganda, Kenya supporting us from West Africa, from East Africa. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I do promise that it's going to be a great time. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to is the first topic that is going to be really delivered by the next speaker, who is one of the people we consider as a guru in the digital finance sector in Zambia. And this is no other than Charity Chikumbi. Most of us call her Mom Charity because, like the name itself, she's a guru in our industry. So everybody who's come across her, you know her as a mother as such. So Charity Chikumbi is a digital certified practitioner, and she has a wealth of experience around regulatory compliance, financial inclusion, fintech innovation, and much more. Charity holds an MBA from the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University, as well as a bachelor's in computing from the University of Greenwich. Charity's career spans from the Central Bank, which is the Bank of Zambia, where she did specialize in payments and ensured compliance with international best practices. As a director at FSD Zambia, that is between 2022 and 2023, she championed the initiatives around the biometric IDs for financial inclusion, as well as the digitalization of the government processes. Currently, Charity is a CEO at City for Square Consultancy, where she does focus on empowering women and youth for financial education and business development for MSMEs. She's recognized recently, she was recognized by the Financial Inclusion Magazine and the African Digital Bankers Magazine. So Charity is passionate about advocate for creating inclusive opportunities across Africa. Wow, that is so much of a profile. Indeed, thank you so much, Charity, for joining us. It is my honor and rare privilege for having you, and looking forward so much to learning much from you, as well as learning more. Your topic is AI. Really, it's interesting that a woman is talking about AI, automation, streamlining processes, productivity, and opening the new opportunities around this new thing. So dive straight into it, Charity. Let us know, in your own experience and in your own views, how do you think women in Southern Africa, and particularly in Zambia, where you've predominantly done much of your work, can use AI as well as automation to streamline the processes, enhance productivity, and potentially opening new career paths? Over to you, ma'am. Kindly unmute. I think you're still on mute, ma'am.
So sorry. Thank you very much. That's technology, you know. No one is too good for it.
I think we
Thank
need
you
an
very
AI
much
that
for having
automatically unmutes while you're talking. If it realizes
very
that,
soon we shall
yeah,
put an application of AI on our laptops.
of
So
course.
artificial intelligence, which is AI, is a technology that kind of replicates or simulates what human beings can do. From the data around different applications that the AI is exposed to, it picks up information data for analysis, for use, to answer questions, and to do different things. So because it is sitting at the very great seat of information, you will find that it is very helpful for everyone. So artificial intelligence can work like a human being. It becomes your assistant. Very soon, you won't need an executive assistant if you can master the different tools that we have available in artificial intelligence. So there are specialized tools. It's very vast. For the health person, they can preach to you about artificial intelligence related to the world of health. But I'm speaking for businesses, and I want us to focus on, I told you that currently, like Jared said, rather, I'm working with SMEs and women. So let's talk about women entrepreneurs and how can they use artificial intelligence. Firstly, I want to say that in this SDGs, the development goals for the whole world are looking at number 6 talks about gender equality. And so AI is an equalizer. It helps a woman. You know, women who are very busy. I'm here at home sitting. Something that can make my life easy. And using AI programs such as ChatGPT, it can help me spend less time on content creation. Maybe I have to write a research, I need to produce a paper, I need to do a blog, I need to do something for one magazine or the other. With ChatGPT, it's very easy for me to extract content. Of course, not reproduce it as it is. No, I could have enough information to then align and put some sense more than sometimes when I sit using technology, I wonder how my father would do a report to someone when they used encyclopedia books. You know, you remember that. Today, the whole encyclopedia and much more is in form of AI. So you can have access to such programs. Maybe you are in accounting world. You can actually use a QuickBook. QuickBook is an accounting package that is facilitated by AI. So there are different tools. Women use all sorts of things. Maybe you want to analyze data. Again, using ChatGPT, it will help you bring the data together, do graphs, collect information, make an analysis, make a comparison, and produce a report with greater ease. Or even if you are a designer in information, maybe even there as a graphics designer, and when we are entrepreneurs, we want to market our products on social media. AI enables that through Canva. I can create content. It will help me this and that. Even my phone has more AI. I can get the chatbot pictures, make them show products. So these days, you are actually using AI without you knowing. Even this Zoom meeting is in AI. There's an aspect of AI, so it's everywhere. So as a woman, you just need to be aware. I think we'll get to those details on how you can be exposed. But everywhere you turn, there's AI assisting you. Back to you, Gerald.
Yeah, indeed, that was insightful. So what we are picking from you, indeed, that AI is here to stay, and it's in everything we do. Some of the things we are doing and we are working with, you're not even realizing that at the back of it is AI, and that means that in everything that we seem to be doing, you've already spoken to some of the practical ways. Now, in your own experience, especially with your vast experience in the digital financial sector, one of the things that you realize is that, especially in the context of Africa, already we seem to be struggling with adoption of the DFS. Do you think Africa is ready for AI? And what are some of the practical ways would you see AI being applied in the context of Africa and how it affects us with regards to financial services? I think you're on mute.
We cannot deny, we cannot put AI on the shelf. We cannot avoid it. Already in most of the things we use, It's already incorporated. It's there in your phone. It will record your messages. I use a phone for reminding me about a scheduled meeting. There's an aspect of artificial intelligence in it. So with technology, like they would tell us when I first studied computers, don't let a computer intimidate you. I think you remember those lessons. Always look at a computer. Everything is there. Manage it, use it. So my message to a fellow African woman, a young woman, an older woman, don't look at artificial intelligence as a competitor. It is an assistant, okay? All we need to do is learn. In my area, in digital financial services, I want to know what are the volumes, the number of transactions that are happening, who is the one with a competitive edge, what are the products? So that analysis, right? So for analysis, I will use AI. I will use a tool that is suitable for AI. I can use Telzo. There are different tools that you can use for analysis. You can actually also use it for collaboration because we are in different areas. Maybe you want to know, or if you have new products in digital financial services, there's fintech. And fintech is producing products. You want to market your products. You will want to know AI under HubSpot so that you can advertise your sales, guide your sales, and see how your sales are performing. There are so many products that the fintechs bring to the market. You want to know analyze who is using, where are they found? What are the demographics, for example, in your marketing strategy? So it will do that for you. And one of the most important things in digital finance and in fintech is understanding your customer, okay? No longer do you have a person like Charity, like 20 years ago, I would walk in a bank and someone is wearing a badge, customer relationship manager, you understand? And they're finding out the names and the like. AI under HubSpot can do that for you. It will know which customers you have, where they are coming from, what they are looking for. Every time there's a transaction in the background, AI will pick up parameters for you to let us sit down and use in decision making. So these things happen. They even help you compile a report. If you look at Slack, it is used for collaboration. Even for setting up meetings. Yeah. So when you want to meet with different people to collaborate, AI under Slack will facilitate that. You can actually work on different documents when you are in the field. You can send back data to the HQ when you have Slack, which is AI enabled. So there's a very thin line to realize I'm now using AI. Whatever application you're using, it's AI enabled. Just be friendly, understand it, and exploit it.
Wow, thank you so much. And then just under a few minutes, maybe you've spoken so much about what AI can do, but there could be somebody right here. How do they get started? Where do I start from? This ChatGPT, where do I find it? What does it take? Do I need to pay for it? So how does one get started on this journey for AI in the context of a woman?
Okay, so every woman should know that there are free tutorials through Google, for example. Befriend your computer, go to Google and type there, you want to know about Trello, which is used for project management. Maybe you are starting a new project, you'd like to monitor it, you'd like to see how it's going. Just type in AI tool for project management. It will come and it will begin to interrogate you and even lead you, okay? Just like when you're on your Google and you're finding some information, immediately AI kicks in. If you want to buy a car from Japan, it will start interrogating you and talking to you. So just have the interest, Google. There are short courses that are free from different study places that I've learned from myself, a bit of what I've learned. Just take time. And as we go into December, I want to urge you, during the Christmas break, challenge yourself. I want to learn the AI tools that relate to my work. and go to Google, ask Google runs so many free courses. There are other engines that are running several free courses. Let's enroll women. Let's understand how we can, even running your bookkeeping, planning your expenditure. How does QuickBook work on a personal level? Just type in your computer how to understand this. AI will come without you knowing. It will be talking to you and teaching you. So let's not shy away. Let's make sure we get the available resources. Mostly they are free and you can teach yourself. Very short courses, maybe 2 days for one, you go to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charity, for those insightful tips around AI. So what we are getting is indeed AI is here to stay. AI is in everything we do. AI is applicable. AI is accessible. And you know what's interesting about AI? You can even ask AI on how to learn about AI. So how do I learn about you? And it begins to tell you how to learn about itself. Where can I find AI? Ask AI. So indeed, these tools are here for us. And thank you so much, Charity, for that. At this moment in time, I'll be happy to get questions. Do we have questions under 5 minutes? We just want to see questions. If you are having issues with your audio, please feel free to type in your questions in the chat, and we should be able to see them. Even after the speaker leaves, you can still chat, type in your question through the chat. All the speakers will stay around and they'll make sure that your questions are attended. So do we have any questions? I can't see any questions in the chat. Anybody, you can unmute. If you've got good picture, we'll be happy to see your video as you even ask the question. Any questions? Maybe somebody is asking AI what question to ask Charity about her presentation.
Yeah, maybe.
I see. All right. No, if you don't have any burning questions, like I said, the chat room is open. Questions will be coming through. We'll be happy to answer them. Charity is still around. Please feel free to ask questions and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much,
I have a question. I have a question for Charity.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Charity, for that expository presentation. I have a question. This is Noella. I don't know if you can see me.
Yes,
my question is, I think there's this misconception, or do I call it prejudice, about AI? Once everybody hears AI, it's like it's rocket science. We just think it's way out of our understanding for women. First of all, is a misconception, or is the fear real? Number two is, how can we develop the mindsets that is required to embrace technology? Especially when some people feel that there's this bias about everything tech and science being for men, easier for men than for women. Two, some women also think that, I think I'm too old for this kind of stuff. Am I going to start learning tech with my kids who are in primary school? I mean, when we were in the university, my university, I can talk about myself, I never saw a computer, but I wrote a computer exam and I passed, But these days, even kids in nursery school, they use Google Classroom for their studies. So how can the older generation embrace, tech and understand that it's learnable, it can be broken down into very simple, easy, bite-sized steps for them. I'm just talking about the mindset shift. How can we achieve that mindset shift? Thank you.
Thank you, Noella. Thank you. You know what? The first thing is to educate the older people, as myself, older than me and everywhere and around, to direct their thirst towards things that they like to do in their present day. I'll give an example. If you like to cook, for example, then that's where to apply your take. You can go to YouTube. it will be AI. They'll take you through a recipe. They'll take you through, you know. So if you saw, in fashion and designing, if you are a Christian, you can actually be aided by AI to prepare a sermon, okay? And then recheck the facts. If you are a worship leader, actually to teach you. So whatever is your thrill, if you want to know how to discipline children as a grandmother, as a mother, what is going on in the world, as a politician, you want to know about Trump, AI will assist you, give you an update of everything. So the problem, the mindset is that AI is for the office, is for digital finance. I just happen to be the digital finance space. That's why I gave my presentation inclined to SME. But if you ask me, I'm a preacher off the stage. I'm a grandmother, I'm what? And I use IT, tech for all these other areas. In Rwanda, I visited Rwanda before, and one of the ways they used to increase just a smartphone manipulation among older women, it was by posting the Facebook, the pictures of grandchildren, showing them how you can share pictures, what with grandchildren everywhere. So they learned to do that. It was very easy now to maneuver them to look for other things. So that thing that you're passionate about is your your buzzword to bring you to tech. Use it to explore tech and you will love it. Okay, Noella, does that help?
Yeah, I think Noella's screen has frozen. She could be having some network issue.
Some challenge.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Charity.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe just to add in on that point, with regards to
where thank you so much, Charity. Thank you. That was really.
Yes, and with regards to just maybe adding on to that question, you know, one of the things that would help in transforming the mind and adoption of AI is that I know it's natural and easy for people to confuse a robot and AI. You know, so other people are thinking when we embrace AI, will be these moving robots and something will just be happening. A robot just happens to be a machine that is using AI.
Powered by AI, yes.
So we are not going to turn into zombies and robots when we embrace AI. So it will be human and will still be adding onto what we do, and the value be realized based on what we do, also adding on to what Ma'am Charity has said. Right, so do we have any question? Or do we have anybody who would love to add anything? If we don't have, we should.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm not quite sure if you can get me. Just let me know if you can talk. I can ask what I want to ask.
Hi, Wankombo. Good evening. Please tell us where you are getting us from as you ask a question.
Okay. Thank you very much for this platform. I'm in Zambia right now. That's where you're getting me from, and I cannot send on my live video. I wish I could because I'm in transit, so I'm just listening via audio. So my question is pertaining to using AI in the financial space. I noticed that Ma'am Charity has quite a vast background, especially in the financial sector, and also relating to nations within the African scope. Isn't it possible that the main reason why AI hasn't really adjusted, especially in nations like Zambia and other third-world nations within Africa, is based on the fact that we have this kind of not really political system, but this hierarchy in which when something is introduced to help us, it will benefit us, especially in terms of AI. It will take years and years and years for us to kind of push it into systems, push it into schools, push it into our universities. And then when you have a look at our friends who are actually elsewhere, for example, the UK, the United States, the moment this student is out, they begin using it. I'll give you an example of Zoom. When Zoom just started, just believe that they started using it immediately. And then to us, it was kind of, we're going to teach it at a later stage in life. And so my other kind of question, alluding, adding to that is that we also have almost a mass exodus of IT personnel that are leaving the nations of Africa, heading out into these other nations that are actually using the projects that are being created by these IT personnel. So is it possible that even as we speak on these topics like AI and this and that, in as much as it's great, is it possible for us to also find solutions like, hey, how can we actually push these things to a much more greater audience in which we can get things down to the root level, and then as the future generations are growing up, they shouldn't grow up with that scarcity of information, that they should grow up knowing that Zoom does this does this, and I can go grab anything that is mine in those words. Thank you very much. I hope my questions were clear.
Hello, can't hear you, Ma'am Charity. Can you hear? Hello? I think I can't hear you. You're not on mute, but then
I'm saying, did you hear everything? I didn't. So would you give me a summary in a nutshell what she was asking for? Yes, please.
Yeah, I think the context in which he was asking the question, I think I picked the issue around adoption. I think one of the things he's saying is one of the challenges that we've seen, especially in places or regions such as Africa, Zambia specifically, is slow adoption for the government, for example, of such kind of technologies. Some of the things that we're talking about in places like the UK probably and other Western countries, already the government is running with it. So I think he was also trying to understand, based on your experience, how you think such kind of adoption could be accelerated at that level, at government level.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that was primarily what I got from.
Okay, now government level, we know how lovely the Minister of Technology is, okay, and how he works hard everywhere around trying, even at the ICTAs right now, they are the computer body in Zambia, ICTAs, I've forgotten what it is in full. So we have a lot of forum that we can champion some of these things. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4 people such as her, you, and myself, or wherever we are in different regions, to begin to use this simple AI tools like Grammarly. So for your spelling, you don't have to start checking your spelling. Just begin to use the Grammar AI application. So in every application, just advocate for one tool that can be made popular. It doesn't have to take the government. I think the goodwill is there. Maybe it's when you're changing, but things like all these things I've taught about in project management, in your content creation, in your marketing, it's the entrepreneur that is able to use this. Even in an office, my work can come out a bit superior, or I finish my assignments quickly because I'm using these tools, and the other person is rigid and they're always falling behind their delivery date. So it's for your own good, it's for your own performance. Each one of us should know that there's no hard and fast rule. People don't even need to know you use the tool, but they'll appreciate the output. So let's go for it. Let's use the, don't be timid. This is 2024. Let's forge ahead. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Charity, for that. I think that was I'll take that as the last question. So if you have burning questions, please type in the chat. Charity is still here. She'll answer the questions via the chat. At this moment in time, please, let's give a virtual round of applause to Ma'am Charity. Please bring in your AI and let them just give her a round of applause. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can see those claps. Let them keep coming. Right. Thank you so much. All right. So at this moment in time, we are transitioning to yet another interesting speaker who's going to give us interesting insights into inspiring the future innovators, encouraging STEM for young women in secondary schools. So the next speaker is no other than Dr. Deb. So Dr. Deb is one of the speakers that is distinguished in the academic and also a mentor who's inspiring young women through STEM. One of the things that you see about our next speaker is a passion for young women and how that speaks to them and understanding technology at the grassroots. So Dr. Deb is a distinguished environmental social scientist who has an expertise in sustainability, human environment interactions, and multidisciplinary research. So currently she serves as a senior lecturer and program leader for the BA in International Business Management at the University of Lincoln in the UK, with a PhD in International Development, which is funded by the Felix Scholarship. Dr. Raha has conducted a number of groundbreaking research on gender and rural development policies. Her professional journey includes roles in CSRs at TVS Motor Company in India, postdoctoral research on energy, poverty, and leadership in environmental sustainability programs at the University of Delhi. Dr. Raha is also an advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion in academia, who is currently actively serving on the EDI steering committee. Wow. Our workforce focuses across sectorial partnerships and co-creation strategies to address complex global issues. She continues to inspire and also empower through our commitment to sustainability and social impact. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to have the privilege and honor of welcoming Dr. Deb to this Growth Conference Southern Africa with a virtual round of applause. Let us welcome Dr. Deb. Dr. Deb, it's a privilege. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Gerald. And I think I would agree. When someone else gives you an introduction, it does feel very nice. So I would agree with what you said earlier. Thank you very much. So thank you to the speakers and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak to everybody. Welcome to everybody who's joined us from all over the world. And I did notice somebody from India as well. So welcome to you specifically. And of course, everybody else as well. I'm glad I'm speaking after Charity because I think Charity has set the groundwork for me really well. New technologies, innovations, it's reshaping our world. It's taking our future at this fast-paced world, taking us into a different world. Yet somehow, in my understanding, and what literature tells us is that women and girls are continuing to be left behind in this growing digital sort of universe and change. And to some extent, if we trace back and we keep going back with women and girls, it seems to be starting from when they are in school and in secondary education about studying and working in STEM related fields. And by STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and maths. So it's like we've left a whole generation of like women and girls, behind. Their voices haven't been heard and their role. So it's like a growing trend So especially today, when we're talking about Charity's talk was so interesting about AI, we talk about medicine, entertainment, all of these fields. Why are we only talking about men within it and ignoring sort of women's contribution to it? So what I want to do today is to my talk is to kind of touch on a little bit in terms of what's happening in developing countries in Asia and in Bangladesh, where I come from. I come from India. But I also want to give you a little picture of what's happening here in the UK. So we understand that even in the UK, which is a developed, global north country, girls are not taking up STEM subjects. There is a gap with regards to digital development and women and girls. So I want to start off with a very interesting quote by Stephen Liller, who's the UNDP Bangladesh. And he said this during last year's International Women's Day, which was, the theme was Digital for All, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. But it is, when he, in his quote, he says, this serves as an important reminder that even in a world where there's digital transformation, we are talking about accelerating gender equality and women's empowerment. So, we've left those people behind. But what we also want to do is, moving forward, not take the risk that we repeat and amplify the existing gender inequality. So ensuring, his quote goes on to say, that we have the pace, but also unleash the potential that women and girls bring as active agents to this sort of transformation that's happening. He goes on to then kind of talk about three specific things, which I will also briefly touch upon. One way is, of course, improving women and girls' digital literacy and technology usage, right from the school age, secondary education, and then, job, which not to be very pessimistic and to be optimistic, a lot of governments, I'm sure you have examples from Zambia, from South Africa, from Ghana, Nigeria, where the government, the education department are consciously deciding that, right, we have to put in women, girls' digital literacy into the system. But it's also the next step, because there's a divide between what's happening at school level versus what they do in the job market. We lose some people there, some girls there. So that digital economy and access to digital services, especially say education, healthcare, online banking, Charity was talking about finances. Why are those girls that do study STEM subject not going into those job markets? That's one question. And I think finally, one of the things I want to touch on is the innovation element. Today, we're having this conversation. I'm sitting here in Lincoln in UK and talking to all of you across the world. It's part of this digital transformation. So e-commerce, technology-based businesses offer women that sort of flexibility. So one of the reasons literature tells us that there is a gap between women's education in STEM and their adoption in STEM job market is because of childcare needs, caring responsibility, the flexibility of time management. Whereas e-commerce, technology-based innovations is giving us that opportunity. So, and especially post-COVID, the use of Zoom, Teams, Google Talk has increased vastly. So how can we kind of encourage that? So this is a quote again from United Nations Secretary Antonio Guterres. He says, we can all do our part to unleash our world's enormous untapped talent, starting from classroom, laboratories, and taking them into our boardroom. These are our women scientists. And all of us on the call and all our speakers are all part of this sort of bigger movement. So like I said, the three things that kind of inform this, one is that education element. So there is a big movement from the UN about one child, one teacher, one pen, where, we need to ensure that girls and who are being, underrepresented and being left out in STEM subjects feel that crucial need to take on STEM subjects. So giving the government, and it has to be a concerted effort by government, academia, civil society, and private sector, that we need to encourage these girls to take on the subjects, the STEM subjects, and to understand what's happening. Why are they not taking it on? And there's this, I want to give an example here that in Vietnam, the Ministry of Education and Training did a study, a national early childhood study. And they said that women and girls are stereotyped because, oh, girls can't do maths or girls can't do science. And that was the first time they actually thought that we need to be changing the educational sector policies and plans. So let me give you an example here, especially because I'm in higher education in UK, that what we see that, despite lacking confidence in doing STEM subjects, girls actually perform better, sorry boys, than girls in classrooms in subjects like chemistry, biology, engineering, science. But that's at what we call primary to secondary education. But it's at that level, girls are performing better. Although they're lacking in confidence, they're performing better. But between that and higher education, we lose students. We don't have girls then choosing to do physics or chemistry or biology. They choose slightly more traditional subjects. So fewer girls take on STEM subjects. And there is the next level, if you look at undergraduate level, there is whole underrepresentation in terms of science technology. And the UK government undertook a study, which HESA, and I'm happy to share the links, where they did a data collection to look at how many women statistically actually join STEM subjects. And they defined it broadly, being inclusive. Data on people who identify as female as well as non-binary to look at it. And it was so interesting to see that actually subjects such as psychology or allied fields of medicine, nursing, were subjects that girls chose, although there's a level of STEM in it. But when it comes to physics, chemistry, technology, engineering, mathematics, and even science, there is a drop of women going into graduate level programs. And this then, kind of worries us. So one question I would like to ask the speakers and our audience is, how do you think we can encourage more girls to come into these subjects? Should we show them the way? Should we show them the positive relationship between STEM subjects and job? But I'll leave the question to you because I'm looking for answers. Or should we provide girls with more relatable role models? Which, as of now, there are few. So the other two things that I quickly want to touch on, and I'm conscious of time, is there are some factors that affect girls from taking up certain subjects. One is, of course, enjoying a particular subject, but there is also a level of what am I going to do after I've studied a STEM subject? So a level of utility of a subject. I'm not going to go into an engineering job. I'm not going to go into technology-driven jobs. And maybe that's where we kind of assess it. Post-education is then women kind of thinking of job markets. And this is where, again, we see historically women entrepreneurs have also taken on entrepreneurship that is non-STEM subject. And we need to, especially in developing countries, guys, we really need to encourage women entrepreneurs who play a key role in a developing economy to grow that business through technology, through that inclusive, sustainable economic growth. And what we see, of course, women have historically struggled with getting access to capital and funds and lack of awareness regarding funding opportunities. But I think if we can provide them that this is a traditional financial network, but there are so many other ways. And here I want to talk about the UN have a project, the United Nations have a project called ESCAP, which is basically catalyzing women entrepreneurship project. So providing funding to unlock women entrepreneurs in all countries. And it's a UN funded project. So in developing countries is more of the focus. But what they want is for governments as well as large-scale organizations to provide that business model that women can adopt, especially based on STEM technology solutions, online market, bookkeeping. But what business model can we provide for these women entrepreneurs? And, again, example from UK, UK government have a funding of £150,000 to give to projects where, these are called women returners of STEM subjects. So it's like they're returning back into STEM through entrepreneurial activity. And finally, and I want to say, is that there is lots happening with regards to drivers of inclusive innovation. And Charity very kindly spoke about the finance angle, but she said, you could use AI in everything. True, digitization, science, and technology is embedded in all walks of our life. So what we are seeing is governments across the world creating this sort of equality hubs so that they can bring women back into the innovative STEM-related entrepreneurial, but also activity where they can resume their careers based on STEM subjects. And I want to give two examples here, and I think the Growth Conference is a great place to give you these examples. And Growth Conference itself is an example, but in Asia, obviously my research area, there is one that is funded by Ria C, and she calls it She Loves Technology. The headquarters is in Singapore, but they're doing a lot with regards to women and technology and looking at women-led businesses for sustainable practices and environmental management. And there is one more thing that, if you remember what I said with the UN quote, is that we can't be using digital transformation to assess and make those same mistakes with gender inequality that has traditionally happened. We have to use technology now to boost our women and our children. So we've got to identify that when it comes to technology, there's also mismanagement and misusage. So this particular project is called Safe City. It is about mapping people and them sharing experiences with regards to sexual harassment in public places. And this is being done by an entrepreneur called Isa Marie De Silva. And it gives women a platform where they can talk about gender-based violence and those sorts of issues. But it's technology-based. It's by a woman who's done an entrepreneurial activity using her love for STEM subjects. So I will end my presentation there, and I hope I've given you some ideas with regards to how we can do this. But there are two questions I still have. How can we encourage more women and girls to study some subjects? And what else can we do to encourage innovations and entrepreneurial activities when it comes to women? So thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deb, for that insightful talk. Indeed, so much can be done. And Dr. Deb has given us two questions here. How can we encourage the women? Actually, that was going to be my question to you. Just as well, you've thrown it back to us. Yeah, so how can we encourage? Let's pick it from there before maybe you asking question. Is there anyone who would be able to take up this? Because these are things that we see happening even in our context, especially here in Africa. When you look at countries like Zambia, there are schools that are specifically STEM schools. It's a whole STEM school, and what we see in that is that still the men tend to be the ones that take up a lot of positions in even when they go higher level. Even in the context of IT, you find that when they are in colleges, for example, you'd see that a number of people would be doing STEM related courses. But then what we are seeing is that when they come into the job industry, the same technology section, they'll go into some corner, which is less STEM within the main STEM. What is the problem, women? So I think that's also a question I'm adding onto that, because this is what we are seeing. People are learning, people are understanding, but when it comes to doing it, they sort of getting on the softer side of things. What is happening in there. Please, the questions that are happening, please, happy to get feedback, or Dr. Deb, you'd love to
Yeah,
pick
if
that.
the reason I have the I no, I don't have the answers, but what I'm saying is I did put down some possible thought, but I wanted to ask the audience as to what they think, because what we are seeing here in UK and coming from India, there are some ways that we can encourage girls to take up that STEM subject. And one of the ways is to be able to kind of communicate, and Charity said this, the importance of technology in our world is what we need to stress and to show both girls and boys, but girls more in terms of the value it holds for moving forward. The second thing I would say is that with STEM, it's making us positive difference in the world. We always think of ways, how to encourage children. One of the main things is that to motivate students to engage with STEM is to kind of breaking through that stereotypes, or girls can't do maths, or girls can't do physics, or chemistry, or technology, or IT. If you bring that idea into them, that you're actually breaking barriers by doing the subject, maybe we could encourage more of them to take the subject up. And I think the final thing with regards to STEM role is we still don't have a lot of examples and role models. I think this growth conference is great. I did tell all my students to come and attend. And I said, this is a great way to encourage, to show how women can succeed in choosing to do certain aspects. And when we talk about women succeeding, it doesn't mean we're leaving the men behind. Gerald, you're in the call. We're all going together in this whole journey, but we've got to recognize that there is a level of positive support we need to give our girls and women. I don't know if there's anybody else in the audience who might want to say something.
I'd put up my hand.
Gerald, before. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, Chai.
Go ahead.
I'd put up my hand. So I wanted to say, to share my little experience of how I found myself in this. So right at school, when we went to secondary school, they would give us a test in all the extra, not the main functional subjects, but they would
Thank you so much, those. I think Charity also. Okay, I can allow her.
Yeah, you can.
Are we ready to go? Can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can, sure.
Okay, so I was saying, when I got to secondary school, what used to happen is we would expose us to like 15 subjects, including homecraft, including a bookkeeping, including sciences and things like that. So you'd have like 15. And at the end of term one, they would then grade you in where you've scored the best. And we girls, because of social norms, the way we've been socialized at home, that's the first point. At home, you've been socialized to be a good wife to be and a good mother to be. So we did very well with homecraft. I think I got 98% in homecraft,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to do homecraft, but the goodness was the other classroom streams didn't have good candidates. So where we had scored 80 or 78, they pushed us in because they needed to be people in those streams. And they began to talk to us how different, how good. Even when I went to senior secondary, I was very good at English, so I wanted to do English literature. And so in the stream that was doing commerce and other kind of sciences, there were only 15 students. And so even then, because I'd passed in my accounting, which was a qualification to 11C, so that's how they had to fish us out. The teacher who was in charge of those subjects actually came to talk nicely to us, pamper us, to make a class for him. And I look back and say, was it destiny? Here I am, so very grateful. So role models and recognizing their social norms, the way we're socialized when we're growing, you know, there are so many things girls would have to break through. The default is to do the girl, the pink kind of things. Yeah, so that's it.
Powerful.
Thank you.
That was good. Yes, Noel, I can go ahead. Otherwise, I also had Susan wanted to come in. I think Noela's connection seemed to be having issues.
I can see
Okay.
Noella has put a
Wonderful.
comment in.
Can you hear me? I think on this one.
Yes, Susan, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Jared. I can go on as I speak. Okay. Yeah, I think my point is pretty similar to Charity. I found that in most, like Dr. Deb saying, we really need to break these cultural stereotypes that are there, you know. I found that even when I'm speaking with most young ladies, there's a very big concern about how they are viewed in society, you know, when they take certain roles, when they have certain changes. For them, it's like, how will my parents think about me? How will my siblings think? My friends, what will they say? You know, and society views us more like a rebel. If as a woman you are seen to take up certain challenges that are perceived to be only for men. The gender stereotypes are very real, and I think we still have a long way as the world, really, for us to break those stereotypes and ensure that the women are comfortable in that space. I think I did mention to earlier on that, you know, my field visits, you know, women were saying we can't use a tablet, we can't sign on a tablet because apparently got more blood than us. But you can tell that that is coming from somewhere. It's not research that proves that. Every person, no, it's not about the amount of blood you have. It's just the fact that you are savvy and use that to add, you know. But because of those stereotypes, the culture asks, women have seen themselves to level up to what men can do. Therefore, I think that could also speak to your Dr. Debs. You know, by secondary school, girls are so, but when you get into higher education, nobody wants to pick up that challenge, you know, to the science. I'd rather take up the social sciences because I'm thinking, you know, when I get married, when I have this will give me flexibility, you know, I will.
We lost Susan on that, but I think we did get a point. Noela, you can go ahead as Susan is fixing her sound.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Dev, for this insightful presentation. You know, the stereotype and the bias we have here, not just in Nigeria, but generally in the world, it's a pandemic, really. The notion we have about girls is the ponytail, the pink, the Barbie doll, you know, just look good, well-groomed, prepped for marriage. And when you try to venture into the areas that are tagged for men, then you're seen as a rebel, just like Susan mentioned. Now, there was something we started last year. It's called Tech for Her. So talking about creating awareness at secondary school level, we actually started it in Nigeria. And what we did with Tech for Her was to create this awareness about tech, the opportunities in tech, the global opportunities in tech, and to also show the girls in secondary school that tech is not for boys. That tech is something that anybody, can venture into. Everybody can learn tech. It's not rocket science. Plus, rocket science is rocket science because some people teach rocket science and some people learn rocket science. So rocket science is learnable. Everything in life is learnable. So we expose these girls to the world of tech, and they were quite enthusiastic. And why did we do this? So that when they want to get into university, they are well informed. They can make informed choices. Now they know exactly, because we're talking about the utility of subjects, right? So now they can know what they can do with tech. So the fact that you want to be the medical line doesn't mean that you must be a medical doctor. You can actually use tech for research, to develop um, solutions in the medical field. You can use tech in accounting. You can use tech in cooking. You can use tech in every area of life. And the girls were quite enthused. And one of the things we tried to do was to also get them to see women who have succeeded in the world of tech. So they will know that we're not just talking fancy, that these things are doable and achievable. And I want to also use the opportunity to say that the Growth Conference will not just end at the conference level. We also want this Growth Conference to bear solid fruits, solid fruits that we can see, especially in the young generation. Now, we are trying to reorient the mindsets of the older generation, the women, but we need to also leave a legacy, right, in the lives of these young girls who are coming up. So part of what we're also going to be doing for those who are interested in joining us in amplifying the message at the grassroots, at secondary school level, for the girls, please, you are welcome to join us. You can reach Emmanuel, you can reach Sandra, who is our official events consultant, because we are going to take tech for her beyond Nigeria. We started from Nigeria, but it is something we want to go global, just like the Growth Conference has gone global. We want more girls in the tech space, more women tech entrepreneurs. See Charity, look at Deb, look at Willie, look at, everybody here, look at Faith. We are all women here, so your girls need to learn to embrace tech at a very early age. And it just needs to be demystified. It's just about demystifying tech and making it very simple, accessible, and everybody should know that it is doable. So thank you so much, Deb, for this presentation. It's quite thought-provoking, and it's setting everybody's mind to work, It just elicits the question, what's the next step?
Yeah, but thank you so
What's the
much for
next step?
actually saying demystifying technology and STEM subjects. I'm definitely, Sandra or anybody wants to stay in touch, I would love to be part of that initiative as well. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much,
Dr. Deb. Thank you.
Dr. Deb, for those invaluable insights and for answering those thought-provoking questions, as well as creating an engaging. I think it was quite engaging. I can see this conversation is greatly engaging, and people just want to go ahead and talk and talk and talk. But I think due to time, we have to transition to the next phase. However, Dr. Deb will still be here. If you have questions, the chat box is still open. Please feel free to type in your questions, and Dr. Deb will address those questions. She asked some questions. If you could answer all those answers, you can put them through. Charity is still around. If you still have questions around AI and what she spoke around, feel free to ask. So thank you so much, Dr. Deb, for that particular session. We'll be taking a short break for commercial. But then after that, we have another exciting speaker. Please stick around and get ready for the next speaker. So can we have a presentation from Hiring Dreams?
Hello and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Mr. Ibrahim Musora from Harim, Istanbul, formerly Harim Dream. I heard you speak about so I was a bit distracted when you said the presentation. I'd like you to catch me up on what you just said.
Please go ahead and we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So Harim Istanbul, formerly Harim Dream, used to be a what they call a furniture company. However, we have transitioned into a fragrance and wellness and let's say a well-being. We're more into fragrance and skincare now. But I think the genesis behind that was about portraying lifestyle. And that's where we have come to. We're proud to be in this journey, and we like to welcome everyone into our journey with us. We submitted a video. I don't know how that's going to be presented, and I would love for that to be presented. I don't know if it's a possibility that we could have that.
We're able to have that video play.
Yes. Come again? You said you were going to be able to or not? We're not able to.
Emmanuel, are you able to confirm?
Yes, so there's an issue with the file, but we're trying to sort it out. So maybe perhaps after the presentation, we can try and play it.
All right. Are you able to play it? The team from Harim Dream are able to play it from your side. You can share the screen and play. Is that something
Yes.
that?
All right.
If they're able to do that, I can make them a co-host so that they can play it as well.
Yes. So Emmanuel will make you a co-host, and please let it play from your end so that we can get to know more about you.
All right, let me do that. All right, so I would be able to play from here if I'm granted the permission to do so.
Yes, so the team is just waiting. That you should.
Yes. So you're already a co-host, so you should be able to play it now.
All right, let me share my screen. I'd like to confirm if everyone can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
You have bought furniture from us and you were satisfied with what you bought, you can be sure that we would maintain quality as far as Harim Istanbul is also concerned. My name is Regina.
Sorry about that.
You have bought furniture from us and you were satisfied with what you bought, you can be sure that we would maintain quality as far as Harim Istanbul is also concerned. My name is Regina Udier. I'm the HR manager for the Harim Group. I'm in charge of staffing, training, and general administration. Recently, we had to transit from furniture business into full-time fragrance business. And this change has been amazing. The entire process of the change, having to upgrade staff, having to move staff from selling big items into selling fragrance. It's amazing to see people transit to new things. We are in 28 states in Nigeria and we have 54 outlets. We are a growing company looking at opening more outlets, at least 10 before the end of the year. The beautiful thing about our business is that everybody is conscious of the growth, and this family is such that every member of this organization is conscious of where we want to be. It's one big family and everyone seems connected one way or the other. I would say that it's a whole different experience. In a way, the market may be similar, yet so different. We are able to distribute to more people, explore a larger market. The growth is limitless. I mean, it's boundless. Our customers are family. They are part of us. We appreciate every customer that has been a customer from the time of the furniture business. This is the new aspect that we're promoting, and we need their support into helping us grow in this. You have bought furniture from us and you were satisfied with what you bought. You can be sure that we would maintain quality as far as Harim Istanbul is also concerned.
All right, so thank you so much for that. I would have loved to have received this in a more subtle environment. I'm actually in transit as we speak right now. I have stopped, and I would share my screen, or rather my video rather, so you can see my face and I would have a proper introduction. It might not be the best, but I think it's better than nothing. All right, so good evening, everyone, because it's actually evening here. I'm currently in Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Mr. Eberede Musoro, and I'm the marketing director at Harim Istanbul. One of the things that I picked up listening to this conversation was, the involvement of AI into the things that we do in our daily lives. And I'd say we've been able to build a very cumbersome team that transcends just Nigeria. It steps into other countries, and we hope to spread around the whole world, actually. We're currently opening different branches in other parts of the continent, in Ghana, Togo, Morocco, and also out of the continent in places such as Romania, and hopefully the UK, and so much others. I'd say the vision of our founder sprouts to, empower the female aspect of life. I would love to quote an entertainment name, which is James Brown. It states, it's a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman. And we categorize this by, excuse the traffic, give me a second. We categorize this by some of our latest collections being inspired by just the female persona and how it reflects. And one of the things that I would like to say is, I heard the use of AI in things, and I would like to point out that most times when we come up with some of our ideas, we seem to be magical during the ideation because of the way we utilize the tools that we have in our disposal, and make sure that we're using AI to do some of the things that we're doing, and making sure that tech becomes a tool and it's part of our day-to-day life. And I think we try to inspire every one of our BAs. By BAs, sorry about the term. We refer to all of our, sales representatives as BAs, they're beauty advisors. And the ideology to that is to make sure that they're not just, looking at the retail of the products as one avenue, but they're realizing the potential of becoming more of an advisor, more of someone that has to go out there and learn more to even advise anyone. I'd say the best way to learn is to teach. And that's kind of the philosophy that we pick up over here at Harim. I don't want to keep on saying so I'm going to open up a question line to which anyone can ask a question to me. I hope I've been audible.
Yeah, you have been audible. Thanks so much. We could hear you. Do we have any questions for the team from RM? So maybe a question: how do we get products? We're in Zambia. How do we tap in? This is a region. It's a global conference. Do you have options around accessibility to places outside Nigeria?
Yes, we do. Of course, depending on, the exact region that you're in, there may be, transit delays and so on. So we cannot give the same guarantees that we give in places that we have stores at, which is we have a same-day delivery policy. But based on that, you can make orders online from our website, and you'll be sure to get them in specified times. We have open channels that are, open 24 hours. with our lovely representatives to put you through how to be part of the whole Harim experience. As a matter of fact, we even encourage wholesale approaches, whereby you're not just becoming a member of Harim's vision just by buying a product, but also by indulging in being part of the dream, by also retailing some of our products also.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Osoro. Unless you have anything, I don't seem to have any questions coming through. Maybe your closing remarks, even as we let you go.
Okay. I'm very open to any tech questions. I myself happen to be a computer science, specialist. So as my wife, who happens to be the current CEO at Harim, and we're looking forward to seeing a world where everyone embraces technology and everyone is, impacted by themselves. I say this with the ideology that we help ourselves grow. And by the time we are aware of ourselves, we're able to be aware of the people around us, and we're able to understand who exactly our families are, and understand that AI is here to help us spend more time with our families. The whole idea of it is, artificial intelligence, but intelligence comes from us. All right. Thank you so much.
Great. Artificial intelligence, but intelligence comes from us. That was powerful. Thank you so much, Mr. Osoro, and wishing you all the best as you try to expand, and we want to see you in Zambia.
Of course. We will be there shortly. Maybe by next year even.
Awesome. Great stuff. Right. So we'll be soon transitioning to the final speaker for the day. So far, so good. We've had great speakers coming in. We've had an engaging session. Questions have been coming through. And thank you so much for sticking around. We'll straight be getting to our next special guest appearance. And one of the things that we'll be able to do is to just hear from them. But maybe before we get into there, I would love to, Mr. Osoro, please type in your website, your contacts, and anything that you think is relevant for people to find you easily in the chat, and we should be able to get in touch with you. So your website, your contacts, your socials, please feel free to share. And everyone on the call, we encourage you to follow the website and also be able to interact and learn more about the Harim team. Right, so at this moment in time, I'll be able to transition us to the next speaker, or rather our special guest. And this is no other than Winnie Mawena, right? So Winnie Mawena is our special guest. She's an acclaimed author. She's a life coach who empowers women to unlock their potential. She empowers women to unlock their potential. So maybe just a little bit more about our special guest, Winnie. Like I said, she's a life coach. She's actually a certified author. She's also a founder of The Knowledge Effect. So this is a non-profit which is promoting literacy and empowerment. She's specializing in growth mindset coaching. She helps individuals overcome the limiting beliefs and building resilience. Through her work, Winnie has been able to have achieved a number of things as a board member as well as an international speaker. Winnie inspires women and children to achieve their goals and unlock their full potential. Her dedication to the community development is evident in her impactful initiatives as well as leadership initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Winnie to this Growth Conference Southern Africa. Winnie, you are welcome, and over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Gerard, for that introduction. It's really humbling to hear someone talk about what you have done or where you have been. And I am also grateful for the organizers of this beautiful conference. I'm learning a lot, and I am also hoping to grow and see how I can maximize AI in my work. And as we are talking about women in technology and unleashing their potential, it's just unfortunate that I was using my laptop for this conference and then it just shut down for reasons unknown yet. And at least I have a backup that I could use my phone. So thank you still for the opportunity. I would like to start off by saying most of us, before we attain the age of 12, nearly between 8 or 12, we have a dream. And this dream, regardless of the circumstance or situation that we're in, we always hope that one day I'll get to be this, or I'll get to do this. And at that particular point, we are not so much in a space that we can think of peer pressure or whatever people will tell you or whatever circumstance you are in. And so we are always zealous and passionate. But once we cross that stage and then puberty comes in and so many other things comes in, you have responsibility now, we tend to forget our dream, which I believe that original dream at a tender age is our original dream. It's something we must run with. And why do I share that? I remember in my personal journey, as my talk is titled, Your Journey, Your Story. In my personal journey, I remember at the age of 16 learning that I'm HIV positive, and I was in my 12th grade. And so here in Zambia, being in 12th grade means the final secondary school education level. And 3 months before my exams, I learned that I'm HIV positive, and that took a drastic turn for me. And that made me think that I'll never achieve anything in life. I forgot the dream I had at the age of 8. I forgot that I had this wild dream to become someone in future, become an author, and travel the world, which I hope to do more than I have now, and do other things like charity and some of the things that I'm doing now and some that I'm yet to do. So that's to say, every woman, every man has a dream. And so when we look at this circumstance before us, most of the times we feel shattered and we feel like I can never be anything or go anywhere in life. But then those are moments that sometimes we never think of, that when I find myself in a situation, my story is a cure for someone else. And so in the age of technology, we must learn to see how can our story empower others, because our stories are not for ourselves. That is why I thought I should share with you my journey and see where does this winning come from and how did I become an author? When everything happened in a way that I thought this is negative or bad or a deadly situation or a near-death experience, I did not see how my story would impact other girls in my community or where I come from or across the globe. And so having lived through a life where I had to accept first my status, I had to live through it, and I had to overcome circumstances that come with it that include depression or rejection or struggling with mental issues around the situation and mindset issues. One of the things that I had thought for myself before then was to think that people who are HIV positive are promiscuous. But when it happened to me, I kind of started learning that my issue was the mindset, and which I believe is our issue most of the times. Some of us are scared to attempt to do anything with tech because of where our minds are or our mindset, how we think about technology. And that's why in this age, I'm happy that conversations like this are being stirred up also to help us simplify the complex of how we might be in a situation. It could be you're going through a divorce, or you could be going through a different circumstance in life, or struggling financially or anything. Usually what limits us to thrive or to reach our highest potential is our mindset. So we must begin by working on our mindset and begin to change and shift our thoughts towards the situation that we are going through in life. And as we are talking, there could be women professionals or women in business or entrepreneurs or girls in STEM. Some of the things that are limiting them to really accelerate their growth is the mindset, where they're at. So whatever circumstance we go through, like I learned from my personal journey, one of the biggest decisions I had to make was to shift my mindset and begin to see how can I leverage my story? How can I begin to use my story to profit for myself and also to help other people that I care for, or people around me, or other young girls in my community who could be struggling with the same, having realized that my story is a cure for someone else. And so to do that, I would like to share that when I got an invitation to speak, the first thing I thought, I was like, I'm not a woman in tech. And then I'm not a professional tech person. How do I come in and speak to such a theme? I realized that one of the things we do is to forget that technology is almost everywhere now. We are using tech in anywhere without even realizing that we're actually using technology. I forgot that I use social media to reach out to so many people, to inspire them and create the change that I want to see or the change that I can be. And so that's how I would like to encourage other people that one of the things that we also have to learn in our personal journeys to success or to growth or to actualize our potential is also to not talk yourself out. Most of the times when opportunities are presented to us, AI could be an opportunity for you, but we are like, no, I'm not a tech person. I can't use this. Remember, because of our mindset as well, and also because we love to downplay the opportunities that are presented before us. So we must be in a place where we begin to challenge such negative thoughts and see what's possible for us in that space. And if I did not say yes to the opportunity, I would not have learned or realized that, oh, I'm actually using technology to speak, to be here. I use my phone every day, it's part of tech. I use my laptop every day, it's part of tech. And also, as an author, I've been able to publish my book in both an e-version and also a manuscript. So that means that without technology, some of these things would not be possible. And so we have to learn to see what opportunities are presented for us from our own personal journey. It could be you're a businesswoman, it could be you're a speaker like myself, or you could be a writer. How do we leverage these opportunities and begin to use them for our own good and also for the good of those that we care for? And so moving forward, the other thing that I would like to share is that in most of the circumstances or life situations that we go through, we love to identify ourselves with the situation and begin to define ourselves by that. When I wrote my book, Living Positively, The Win Mabena Story, my thought around putting this title was that a lot of times when we say living positively, we always had an idea of like HIV or something. But then I had to be bold enough to say, I'm going to challenge this norm and say positive is the new beautiful, because in whatever career or situation or whatever profession you are in or whatever goal you have in life, you need to possess a positive mindset for you to reach that full potential, for you to attain that specific goal that you have set. You will set goals, you will set plans, but if you do not have the mental fortitude or the attitude towards pursuing that goal, which is having a positive mindset, you will not get there. So it's important for us to realize that some of the things that we talk about or share, they come from where we're standing in terms of our view or perspective, our world view or perspective of life. So for me, writing this book and sharing about living positively was about challenging the norm that when somebody says they are positive, it doesn't always mean that we should attach this to a sickness or a virus, but we should think of it as a state of your mental state, or how you perceive things towards achieving goals or reaching your full potential. And so with that said, I use my personal journey and experience as a growth mindset coach to help people build resilience, and if not building resilience, boost their resilience so that they can reach their full potential. Life hits us in so many different ways. You could be a woman in tech or a man in tech, but in different professions or in different spheres of life, we get to face challenges nearly every day. Sometimes we struggle with identity issues. Sometimes we struggle with mindset issues. Sometimes we struggle with other life situations. And so when we're struggling with these things, we put ourselves in a space where we need the encouragement. We need to boost our resilience almost every day. Imagine having a dream and you're not sure how you're going to achieve that. Sometimes you need someone to push you through. And that's why even in your own personal journey, as you pursue things, even with AI, if we're going to try out something, it's okay for you to ask for help and to reach out for someone to encourage you and say, this is possible. You can actually utilize this resource, and this is how you can go about. One of the things that I would also like to share as I conclude in my talk is also to share that we must get to a space where also we begin to simplify the complex. By simplifying the complex, there could be other girls out there or other young women out there who would, once they hear the word technology, they're like, I wasn't good in math, I wasn't good in science, I can't do this. But we have to begin to break down these concepts of helping people understand that when we talk about technology, it could be a simple thing as how Winnie uses it through social media, or how Winnie uses it through writing her story on the computer, or how she uses it just to send a message to using Canva or any of those apps. It's not literally about saying you have to go and study website design, or you have to become a graphic designer, or anything that can seem like it's a very challenging profession or option for someone. And also, I think as a person who's founded an organization that looks at promoting literacy, one of the things that I'm passionate about is working with rural girls and rural women who do not have access to these technological applications or technological materials such as computers and smartphones. How can they not be left behind, even in the age where we're moving towards technological advancement? So with that said, I would like to encourage you to embrace a new mindset by always believing in yourself, that even with so many changes and shifts that are going on, what opportunities are there for you, and how can you begin to leverage your story to empower yourself and empower others around you and help people shift their mindset so we can grow together and live our full potential. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Winnie. You know, your story is a profound reminder indeed. As I sat here listening to you, it's a profound reminder of the resilience and the impact that really, if a woman stands up, they can really transform lives. You know, just like technology you're talking about here does open doors. When we listen to your narrative, it does really opens our minds, our hearts, challenging us to foster all those issues, breaking the barriers around the stigma. And indeed, we could realize the potential as a woman. Stigma is not a limitation. Your status is not a limitation. Only things that you've spoken around saying positive is the new beautiful. That captured my attention and captured my heart. Thank you so much, Winnie, for that encouraging and inspiring talk. Thank you for embodying the spirit of this conference that is all about unleashing the potential. So thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give Winnie a virtual round of applause for that inspiring and very heart and mind-provoking talk, even as we get ready to transition to the next speaker. Right, so we're now moving into our last segment. And before we get into that, Winnie, we still want to learn more about you, just like Mr. Osoro did for Harim. Type in your contact, type in your, if that book is on eBay, I mean on Amazon, where do we find it? Your social media, if you have a page for it, your website, all the contacts that you think are relevant for people to be able to know and get in touch with you. I'm sure I could tell you but so much to say, and I'm sure much of it has been poured into that book. A number of us would be happy to learn more about and hear even much more from you. So please feel free to drop in your contacts right in the chat, and people will certainly be connecting. Right, so we're getting into the last session or the last speaker for the day. The last speaker for the day, who happens to be Faith Nyaga. Faith Nyaga is a leader in ICT. and water resource management. She's empowering women through digital skills. We need to get ready for the future workforce women. So this is what Faith will be talking about. So she's going to talk about building digital skills, the essential training. You heard Charity talk about AI as a skill. You heard Dr. Deb talk about STEM and how it can be applied. So Winnie is going to close it up for us by telling us, or rather pointing us very specific roles or essential skills that women require to thrive. And no other than Faith to talk about this, because she's an active ICT practitioner. So she'll be giving you very practical skills. So I'm going to read a little bit about Faith. So Faith is a passionate advocate for using technology to drive sustainable development. As a principal ICT officer at the Water Resource Authority, she leads innovative projects that are focused on water resource management and climate data systems, ensuring efficiency and sustainability. Her work empowers data-driven decision-making and directly impacts environmental conversations and conservation efforts in Kenya. So beyond her professional achievement, Faith is an active leader in empowering women in technology. She serves as the She Leads Tech liaison with Issaka Kenya, fostering diversity and mentorship for women in the tech industry. A former board director at Issaka's special program and a former board member of the Swedish Alumni Network of Kenya, she combines technical acumen with leadership excellency. Faith's mentorship program for young professionals reflects her commitment to nurturing the next generation of leaders in ICT. She firmly believes that technology is a catalyst for societal transformation, and her work has a lasting impact on communities and the ecosystems in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Faith to this growth conference, Southern Africa. Faith, over to you. We are so excited. We can't wait to hear from you. Over to you, Faith.
Thank you so much, Gerard. And I've been sitting here learning so much from previous speakers. That has been very inspiring. And thank you also to Winnie for sharing your story. Your story is very impactful, and I'm grateful to be here, and it's such a privilege to be positively impacted by what you've shared with us. So today we are going to look at digital skills, and we've always over the years heard that there is the future of work, and essentially when you look at it, this future is here. And I would want to start by asking a question to the audience. So if you're here in this audience group and you have a phone, a laptop, a tablet, a smartwatch, a smart speaker. For instance, for me, here I am, I have a watch on myself, I have my phone, I have my computer here. Just type how many gadgets do you have surrounding you, where you are at this point. Just count them quickly and let me see what you have in your chat. How many gadgets, how many smart gadgets do you have wherever you are? Whether if you're in your house, if you have a smart appliance in your house, a smart fridge. Bernice has 3 gadgets, smart gadgets already surrounding her where she is. 10, Gerard has 10, Charity has 4, Memory has 2 gadgets surrounding her, Angela has 2 smarts, Susan has 3 smart gadgets. And I'm sure these are gadgets that are interconnected, helping you navigate your life, day-to-day life. So you can clearly see when you talk about the future of work, yeah, Matilda has 2, Ruth 2. If we talk about the future of work, it's not something that we are anticipating that it will come. Trust you me, it's already here. It's already here with us. And I would want to go tell just a little story. I was reading about a company that is called Kodak. Some of us who remember if you grew up in the 90s, taking a picture was an event. You had to be assembled at home somewhere or go to a studio, and a photographer had to come, and you had to wait a few days for them to go and clean the pictures and then bring them to you. But there's a company that was very famous at that time called Kodak, and it had at its peak at some point, it had almost 145,000 employees working for them. But now what happened? Smartphones started stepping in. The iPhone came in 2007. Taking pictures became something that was now anyone can do it. There was instant photo sharing. You could take a picture, edit it. Digital cameras came in, but that company did not move. Its primary purpose of business was dissolved very quickly. And when you look at how progressive that has been right now, I'm sure it's a company that has gone into bankruptcy. The thing is, and if you don't get anything else from this conversation that I'm about to start, is if you don't create purpose for yourself, you'll be assigned one. You need to know what is your purpose. And does your purpose understand that things change? And when things change, are you also able to change with it? Because what you've learned that technology is moving on very fast. Things are changing very fast. What you know today might not help you so much tomorrow. So upskilling yourself, reskilling yourself with digital skills is very, very important. And today we are going to specifically look at some of the fundamental skills that women should be able to prepare themselves, and some of the examples that are out there that you could try and tap. One of the basic skills that is there is the ability to code. Right now, you don't have to be a techie person to be able to come up with a solution that you've developed, a solution that can be able to solve a real world problem. We have platforms that can be able to assist you to do no code. We've been talking so much about AI today. There are platforms where you can use to generate code as long as you have an idea. There's an app I know called like Retool, AppGear. You just know how you build, be creative, but at the back of it, it's able to create for you a code. Coding with AI has become now like the norm, even the big companies. I was listening to one of the big leading CEO in a tech company, and he was saying, like right now, almost 60% of the programming that they do is AI driven. So there's very much that you can do in your own space. I've seen women come together and develop mobile apps, even here in my country, Kenya, that allows farmers to be able to check market prices, being able to find buyers, being able to find, sell their produce directly in e-commerce. And this what this enables the community around them is to be able to cut the middlemen and also increase the profits for the farmers. In West Africa, I think there's some ladies who developed a platform that is able to promote the local artisans to be able to showcase the crafts that they're making. And now this attracts international buyers. And now you see, you can be able to create an entrepreneurial community and also provide sustainable income within your community. So a lot can be done there. So we are living in a world that previously for someone to be part of a movement that is changing a community, maybe you'd have to be employed by a leading company. But startups right now have become very easy to start because there's so much opportunities that have been provided for people, even at an individual level, to be able to create, to be able to create businesses that are able to significantly change their communities. Another skill that you might be able to tap into is data analytics and also data science. Actually, I just finished my 1-year training program for data science, and data science is a skill that can empower women to make sense of complex information. We are living in a data-driven era. All sectors from agriculture, finance, education, marketing, healthcare, there's so much data that is being collected. But how do we make meaning of this data to be able to make decisions that are data-driven? For instance, in a place like, in a sector like agriculture, there's weather data now available everywhere, soil data. These are places where you can be able to think and tap into and be able to provide the local farmers in your area about, we have now sensors through the Internet of Things, technology whereby you can analyze the soil, analyze the weather, also tap this data because in some places it's available online, or partner with people who are doing this and be able to analyze that information and in your own community advise the farmers there on the best crops to plant and also how you can be able to increase productivity, things like that. Healthcare, another place where data can be used to be able to identify issues that can, things that can be intervened and also saved lives. We've talked about marketplaces whereby analyze the sales, be able to advise small businesses where raw materials are being available at right prices and on all that. Digital marketing, very key, another skill that is good to tap into. Actually, there's so much that you can explore here, especially even if you're not in the line where you're a techie. In digital marketing, there's a space for everyone. Social media management, content creation, and then also there's a lot of opportunities to either to get a job or do a startup. You can do a startup on digital marketing agency, for instance. You can, like we have mentioned previously, do an e-commerce platform to showcase whatever artifacts or produce or products that is available in your own community. You can even start your own social media management, consultancies, and start advising small businesses on how to be able to do that. And the good thing about the era that we are living in, education has become so easily accessible. It's not like in the years that were there before us. Right now, there's so much places where you can be able to tap this education. And for most of these places, it's free. Or if it's expensive, you'll maybe have to part with a few dollars. One key skill that is very key for everyone, and I keep saying, cybersecurity, or being able to identify the digital threats, because now this is a place that you'll be navigating in. It's now, if right now, in one way or another, even from the question that we asked, in one way or another, we all interact on a day-to-day basis with the digital world. So learning the cybersecurity risks that exist in the online community in this digital world is very key. You need to be able to know how to mitigate them. You need to be able to identify what is a phishing attack, what is a data breach, what is identity theft. You need to be able to know if someone is trying to send you a malicious email and they're trying to trick you to be able to click that email so that they can be able to so that you can be vulnerable and they do something damaging to your computer or steal your passwords. Those are skills. It's like before anyone knows, before you leave your home, you have to close the door with a padlock, sometimes 3 or 4 padlocks. You can't just leave your house open like that, because the thief will come and pick your TV. Right now, most of our valuable resources, our money is on the internet. Our data is in our internet. We've scanned our certificates, then our pictures, our children's pictures. We've put them in your Google Drive somewhere. So that is a skill that is not for some techie guy there. That is a skill that each and every individual person should be able to take a cybersecurity awareness course in Coursera, in CyberSafe, anywhere you see it being offered, for, even on YouTube. Make sure on a regular basis you are able to keep yourself updated on because also these threats, they keep changing. What was a threat last year, people have found how to protect themselves from it. So these malicious actors on the internet, they keep thinking and finding, what do people don't know? But good thing, there are people who are doing research and they're keeping you abreast on how to protect yourself. So over and above that, there are some other skills that are not technology-based yet, as well. Things like being creative, being able to collaborate and work with teams, adaptability and flexibility. The world is going global. If you're going to be launching your products on the internet, you need to be able to have cultural intelligence. You need to be diversity conscious. Ethical issues. If you're going to do a program or come up with a solution, you should make sure that technology solutions that you're coming up align with the society norms. We've been talking about AI a lot, and there's a lot of questions about, is AI biased? Is it equitable? Does it address all the society values that exist? Leadership skills, very important. Time management. You should also be someone who is very curious and also willing to learn all through. Embracing change. We talked about Kodak. This is not the time to stay. This is where I am. This is what I believe. You should be able to always know things are changing, and like AI changes, I think every 3 to 6 months, there's something totally different that has come up. So you should be able to always be ready to change. And most importantly, branding. This is something that I cannot insist enough, especially for women. We sometimes shy off from showcasing ourselves, showcasing our talents. We get awards, we don't tell the world. Personal branding is the norm nowadays. You've seen, if you have applied for a job recently and they want to shortlist you, the first place they land, even before they see your face, is on your social media. You see, they'll go to your LinkedIn, they'll go to your Twitter. They want to see what kind of a person is this. Is this a person who, whatever they're putting out there, does it attach the values of our organization? So building a personal brand is very important, and it's very good also because it also ensures you also maintain some professional connection. I'm sure Sandra or Noella, how they got to reach me is because they saw my LinkedIn, or someone saw my LinkedIn and shared my name somewhere, and that's perhaps I'm here. So you are able to maintain a professional, your professional network keeps growing, and now you're able to get in touch with industry experts who are not only from your local area, but someone in Australia, someone in US, someone in America can get reach of you, and you can be able to share your talent, your skills, whether you've monetized them or you're volunteering. Yeah, so that's something I wanted to insist a little bit about. As I wind up, there are 2 things that I cannot leave this webinar without talking to ladies, and this is something that is very key for me. Sometimes you might go to the internet, you've done this course, you've done data analytics, you've passed all these exams, but then what? My job does not offer me an opportunity to exercise AI. My job where I work, there's no data analytics happening. So then how do I stay with that skill? one thing that you can do is volunteer. Myself, I've been volunteering for almost 6 years now, and I've seen the work that I actually do as a volunteer has blown my candle, has blown me to greater heights, because there you're able to get an opportunity to build your confidence, to expand your network, to do impactful things. If you've learned how to be a data to do a data analysis, you can volunteer in a place and ask them, okay, can I be the one who analyzes your data just for free? Can I be the person who is going to manage your social media? And then you grow in that, because perhaps in your organization there's a communications manager and you work in IT. So then you'll never have an opportunity to develop that skill that you've taken your time to grow. So there's a difference between learning a skill and training yourself to use that skill. So volunteering is a good space to see. If you can see myself here, I just got nominated in this. I was recognized as a top 45 most influential women in digital transformation in Africa, 2023-2024. And the majority of the work that has been put in this magazine is some of the work that I've done as a volunteer. So don't shy off volunteering. If the Growth Conference is looking for volunteers to be able to assist them run conferences, please run with it. Reach out, be there, be part of that community. Also, mentorship is very key. Mentors are very good to be able to guide you, navigate the challenges, and discover opportunities also out there. So that's my other thing that I would want to insist. But going back to what I had said before, if you don't create a purpose, you will be assigned one. Back to you, Gerard.
Wow, that was very insightful. I almost lost my concentration as a moderator and just started to listening, and that was powerful. A lot of things that you spoke around, I personally resonate with them, and well, thank you so much for that. But maybe in the next few minutes for question and answers, you've emphasized so much faith on digital skills being acquired. Now, in your own understanding, why do you think there should be a lot of focus on women building these digital skills? Aren't these skills general? I mean, why should the focus be so much about women?
Well, the conversation that has been, and myself being a woman in technology, we find that women, I mean, it's a statistic for sure. There are more men in the digital space than there are women. And for some time, the women have always shied away, not shied away, maybe it's a society the way it has come to be. And you find that when you talk about technology, for the longest, it had been perceived as a man's field. So, and then you find women getting into other roles that are not technology driven. But one thing that we've come to realize is that there are unique issues in the society that women needs to be part of this conversation in technology. I remember there was a case that had come up some few years ago about I think one of these phone companies developed an app, but when women were using that app, there were things in that it was a health app. There were weird things about women because the app was designed by men to be used by public, but there are patent issues that women themselves health issues that were not incorporated, and that health app could not be as useful to women. But when women came in and joined in the conversation, they were able to do an all-inclusive app that caters the issues that also touch the women. So there are so many things that are there, and perhaps you find when women are empowered technology-wise, because most women are at the grassroots of the community. There's a lot of transformation, a lot of perspective that men might not see that touch the community level. And when we bring in these women in that sector, you'll see the community moving in an all-inclusive move. So there's a very because you see, technology is not only for people who are very privileged, people in high places, people who are CEOs, people who are running servers. Technology starts even from the grassroots.
Yeah.
You see, yeah. And that's where we find most women also rooted in. So when we are transforming and when the world is moving to a digital world, if you want to move at the same place, we need to also have all genders included. And since women have always lagged behind because of the way maybe technology had been presented in the world, there's need to keep pulling and bringing in women into the space as well.
Yeah, no, that's very insightful. One of the things that you've mentioned there is really bringing them on board. But I think naturally there's that tendency around women and girls just to be feeling intimidated around them taking up these digital skills, as well as some of them have confidence issues. What advice would you give to such women around those feeling intimidated, as well as lacking in confidence? They know what to do, they know where to find the tools, but the confidence and intimidation is just killing them now.
Yeah, so what I would want, the advice I would give to women who feel they are a bit intimidated to get into the technology is, first of all, start small. Begin with the basics. You can practice, and this maybe could be not someone who is very much educated. I would say maybe someone who is just they have an access to a phone or maybe a computer, but they have never been to a computer class. But you can start small. Start using small. A social media tool, for instance, can help you start familiarizing yourself with technology, a productivity app. But the second thing that is very key is that I would want to tell women is focus on the why. Understanding how digital skills can directly benefit you as a woman, either in your career, in your business, in your personal life, is very key, because that is what is going to put you in a state of being motivated to keep trying, to keep learning. So understanding why do I want to do this? And again, there are so many free resources. Leverage on those. We have so many free resources right now on the internet. If you go and just say free course on this, you'll find it. So the other thing is, again, be part of a community. Like for myself, I am the She Leads Tech for liaison for ISACA. ISACA is a professional body for professions for people who are in IT and also information security careers. So if you find yourself a community that you fit in, that can be able to give you the support, that can be able to give you the inspiration, that can give you the opportunity to grow together, learn from each other, get a mentor, see what other women, because another thing that we lack, especially as Africans, when I was growing up, I don't think I knew a woman like me, you see. So these communities, they're able to bring women who have gone there, they've become heads of department in their offices as managers in ICT, they've run businesses, so being able to bring those stories to young girls, and they're able to see, oh, it's possible for a woman to be able to get there. Is also, so joining these communities is good. And one thing is also embrace failure. If it's too challenging, it's okay. It's a mistake. It's part of success. If you win, it's a progress. Sometimes you want to code, you try to create. It's okay. Just know sometimes you will fail. sometimes you will win, and it's part of the process.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Faith, for that impactful presentation. Do we have questions? I can't see any questions in the chat, but a lot of reaction around how most of us were able to relate with your presentation. Do we have questions? Anybody can unmute yourself. Right. So, one of the things Faith spoke around is that if you have a skill will not be useful if you're not using it. So you have to find ways of using it, volunteer and every.
Sure.
On a personal note, that's how come I even came up and founded Lonergize. One of the things that I was running on the side, apart from my full-time job. One of the things I did is, after understanding and learning a lot about things, there was no place I could apply those things because it's a company set up, there are policies, you just can't get into a server, there's a procedure, but then you have this skill, how do you do it? So you build something and apply those skills. Somehow it also started to monetize. So a hobby now becomes something as an extra source of income. So the whole point is that when you get a skill, that's what Faith has been talking about, find a way of making it to use, volunteer, being part of the community.
Yeah.
Just find a way of making that useful. Thank you so much, Faith, for that invaluable presentation. I personally so much found it relatable to a lot of things that we are doing. And at this point, I would like every one of us who are still here to take a group picture. So if you can turn on your turn on your video, and we want to see your face so that we get a group photo. This is a sign to say I was here, and you get this photo and post it. Remember, we're coming back tomorrow, so let us use these photos just to create momentum and let people know about this conference. So today has been awesome, and looking forward to even a greater presentations tomorrow. Faith has touched on branding. If you saw Francis's promotional video, he spoke about self-promotion. So we're getting deeper into that. I'm excited about that session and looking forward. Yes, please, let's keep turning on the videos. Tech team, let me know if you managed to get the group photo.
Yes, I'm just waiting for a lot more persons to turn on their cameras. We have so many persons that have turned it off. So please, if you can, turn on your video so that we can take a group photo.
Let's turn on your videos.
Turn on your videos, please. We're waiting.
We're waiting. Let's turn on your video. Even if it's dark, we know some of us are in places where there's load shedding. But at least let's see. Just try and turn on your video. See, a number of us are here. I want to see guys turning on the video. I feel so intimidated. I'm the only guy in the video.
All right. Okay. Well, I think we have more persons.
Yep. Great.
All right. Okay, we have it. We've taken the pictures, and thank you so much for today.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right. Before we leave, I'll hand over to the host, Susan, for our closing remarks as we get ready for tomorrow for yet another exciting session. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you so much. And thank you for carrying to the session. Thank you to everyone for your participation. Wow, we have learned a lot. If you do not create purpose for yourself,
I think Susan is having a bad line.
purpose shall be assigned to
Are you able, maybe, Susan, to turn off your video?
What that simply means is that
your
you need
bandwidth
to
is quite
learn
low.
to be the change that you want to see. Make sure that you are driving the change. Make sure that you do not become victim and outdated like Kodak. We have seen Madam Charity talk about the revolution and all the change. So I really look forward to tomorrow. A lot of insights that will come through, a number of speakers that we have that are coming on board tomorrow. Come on board, come and learn, invite a friend, let somebody come through and engage women. Let's break the barriers. Let's break the norm. Let's break the stereotypes. Let's challenge ourselves. Greater technology and science is not only for men.
Hi, Susan. I think we can hardly hear you.
Remember,
your connection is quite.
Yes, it is quite unstable. Yeah, I hope people can hear me. Is that better?
Yes, I think.
Is that better?
Yes, that's much better.
Is that better, Gerald?
Yes, that's, just hold on or hang it there and we can proceed.
Okay, so let's see us tomorrow, and everybody have a wonderful evening.
All right, thank you so much, Susan. That was Susan doing a closing remarks. So just an emphasis, we are coming back tomorrow right here. There'll be more powerful speakers. So far today has been great. If you still have questions, let's keep the conversations running in the WhatsApp group. There's a WhatsApp group where if you're not part of that, please ask for a link, ask questions.
Okay, thank you so much for joining, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Please invite a friend to come through. Thank you so much, and thank you all our speakers, and thank you, Jen. for anchoring the session.
All right,
Have a
thank you
good
so much.
evening.
Good evening to everybody. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.